everyone. My name is Kathleen Selmans, and my website is kathleenselmans.com. And today's video is about how to come up with topics for these 5 to 8 minute expert videos that I keep doing, how I keep coming up with content. And the question comes from a good place, right? So I have this new service with Emma Bates called Amplify Now, and it's a video as a service service where we take an hour-long conversation between you and me, and we cut that into 4 full-length videos and 4 one-minute highlights, and then we add captions and we put it in all the right formats, the squares, the almost squares, the rectangles, the tall, skinny things, depending on the platform. And then we, depending on the package you choose, we either give all that stuff to you and including a transcript that you can use as a blog post, which your transcript will get formatted as a blog post because nobody wants a wall of text on their blog. That's at least one of the pieces of advice that we don't have to be giving now that it's 2020. We used to have to tell people not to do that. So we add headers and bullet points, and we are able to give you a keyword optimized blog post, 4 of them actually, based on an hour's worth of content. And it's really a cool service, and it's for people who either want to be doing more video or have done some video and just aren't really doing anything with it. And they say like, okay, well, in the future, I'm going to be doing more of this. I want to turn my videos into transcripts too, but that kind of thing is boring. So that's where we come in. And so a lot of the conversations I've been having include the question of how they can come up with a bunch of content. And the short answer is the same way that you come up with all of your content. The longer answer is, of course, pay attention to the news, see if there's something in the news that you can add your voice to. I would caution you, especially with news right now, to be very careful if you are not part of the conversation already. We used to call it in inbound marketing, it's a term called newsjacking. And so if you can take the news of the stock market or a stimulus checks or the pandemic or the protests and somehow spin it in a way where people are paying attention to what you have to say, then you can get a lot of views. Again, that is a really touchy subject, especially with the protests. If you are not someone who has traditionally spoken out about these kinds of protests, tread carefully, because you don't want your first video to go viral for saying all the wrong things. So you can find stuff in the news. You can look at your current content strategy for blogging and see where you can add video instead. You can look at the posts that you want to write and realize that the title that you came up with is something that you really should be talking about first. Because one of the cool things about this service is you get that transcript, right? And so many of us are way, way more effective vocal communicators than we are written communicators. And so maybe you've wanted to write a blog post about how you did something with a client that yielded them a ton of results. Those case study posts are so hard to write. And maybe you should just be talking about it because people want to hear what you have to say. And then once you've talked about it, then you have this nugget. I tend to just publish the posts that my videos turn into, but you could take what you're saying as this nugget and then expand it out to a whole bunch of different pieces getting a first draft from a 5 to 8 minute video, gets you so much farther along in the content creation process than simply just having a list of things you want to write about down the line. So that's my tip. You can also, there's another piece of advice. You can look at the blog posts that have done well for you in the past, and either update them or add something new to them. And adding a video to an old blog post, here's the 2020 update to my 2018 best of whatever it was. Will then republishing that with a new date will keep your content fresh. You can see what your competition is talking about. You can pay attention to what people in your Facebook groups and your other communities are talking about, and anything that you would tweet about or write a blog post about, or maybe not tweets, because tweets can be, if you don't have more than 180 characters or whatever it is to say about something, you're going to end up with a very short video. But that's the thing that you want to do, is just think about the things that think about the problems that you can solve and talk about those. Especially if you are in the business of serving others, talking through the different problems that your service can solve is a really good way to generate content. I would caution you against saying or titling your video "Problems I Can Solve with the Things You Can Pay Me For," that kind of thing. But that's it, really. Like, coming up with content is only hard at first. It's kind of the same thing as drawing a blank when you start to go live, right? It's where we get our hangups, but the solution is relatively simple. And so, with that said, if you are interested in the process that I follow, the system that Emma Bates and I have created, head over to KathleenSummons.com/1HR52. So that's an hour of work for 52 pieces of content. That's a stupid URL, yes, but it's KathleenSummons.com/1HR52. I will link to that in whatever you're looking at. And today's business owner spotlight goes to a woman that is amazing, someone that I met in 2012, who's been working online and offline. She's created a conference for underrepresented voices. Her name is Sandy Smith, and she does websites, and her website is iamsandysmith.net. And she is, if you do not know her, you should. Her personal finance blog is called Yes, I Am Cheap, and she has a couple of really cool posts about her very inexpensive wedding a few years back, and she's a dynamic person that you should be following. I will talk to you soon in this space. I am so excited that you're here. Click the button below to hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.